I got you.
Turn the TV down in the background.
Don't even worry. Oh, you talking about me?
Yes.
Leave my TV alone. I say, why is her circled in white? Andrea always got to try to one up somebody.
I'm not trying to. I swear, I'm not trying to one up somebody.
Yeah, you do be. It's
I,
okay.
I'm not trying to one up
He's like,
somebody.
it's an accident. I don't know. I don't know. Sure. Sure, you don't know. No, I don't know. Sure. Oh, why is, why did that repeat from my phone? That's heck of funny. That repeated from my phone. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It's Triple C and Joe.
Yes. Hey.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, real mamas.
It's,
Always good to see the fam.
yes.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
been a
been a lot
minute.
of things going on. That's why we got on here because we was like, we keep getting on the phone and not having our conversations on here like butt heads. But what was we finna talk about? Oh, I put on Ray J and Dre wife and Cardi B all filed for divorce all within a week
Mm,
in the same week. Oh my goodness, what is happening?
they want out.
It's getting hot in here. I don't understand.
They said they won't out.
Everybody want out.
Everybody want out. They said it ain't enough to stay. Love don't say it's a time to stay. It's time to go. It's time to go and take that money.
It's time to go and take that money. Cash out.
Cash me out. Cash me out.
Cash me out.
Cash me out.
I cannot.
When you ask for almost 2 million a month, shoot, I'm shooting. Cash me out.
Okay. Okay. She asking for $1,936,399 to be exact. Okay.
She said, "Cash me
Do you
out."
think that that's gonna hold up in court? Do you think that prenup is gonna hold up in court? Because Drake filed and his lawyers filed a thing saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, pump your brakes, okay? Don't get ahead of yourself. We got a prenup. we got a prenup." But she said
That
that she
she
was
she's
given the prenup at the last minute,
and
and that
under duress,
under duress.
under duress. Because
She said, She said she was being threatened. The bitch said, I love Dre and everything, but you know, she said I was being threatened. But really, I think it was that she was being threatened that he wouldn't marry her. Not that she was being like threatened with bodily harm. But
why makes a
people be like, whatever it takes.
why makes a last minute to sign the prenup agreement? You knew he's gonna get married.
Yes, Triple
So,
C, they are really done.
yes,
They are really done. Um, Dre and his wife been together for 24
4
years.
years.
Their kids are grown. They are really done. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Well, sometimes things change.
Hey,
She's like,
Auntie Donna.
yeah, hey, Auntie Don, maybe you stay for the children. I don't know why she stayed. 24 years is an odd number to me. Just my own thinking. It's an odd number. Okay,
Right,
so 24 years. She stayed. Kids are grown now.
right.
She put up with his bullshit. I'm just saying.
It just be a trip when you don't hear anything
But
and then it just happens out the blue.
maybe it ain't really happening out the blue. Maybe she just decided to keep it private until they had to go to court. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just saying.
Right. I'm sure. I'm sure. I
And
mean,
then,
those people have super great PR people. They keep almost all their private stuff out of the press. They pay good money to keep their stuff private.
Yeah. So um, I'm just saying maybe they got grown kids. They kept it out of
Hey,
the press,
Valerie.
kept it out of the press as long as they could, and they probably told the kids stuff and everything now. So
Yeah, yeah. They probably told everybody privately or whatever, and then you know. I mean, I'm sure it's only a surprise to the rest of the world. It ain't no surprise to them. But she said that their prenup.
hold on a minute, Erica. Okay, hold on a minute, 1 minute.
Okay, so y'all, she's saying that she was forced to sign the prenup, and which makes it invalid, and that later on, about 3 or 4 years later into their marriage or so, or 2 or 3 years into the marriage, Dre actually ripped it up.
Oh, he ripped it up. You didn't tell me
That's
that.
that's what she said. That's what she said in the court documents, that he ripped it up, and to allude to the fact that there was no more prenup, and so all these years they have both been living in a marriage under the assumption that there was no prenup. And I hate to be like this, but I'm like, oh, did he get you? You know what I mean? She said he tore up several copies. I'm like, he didn't tear up one last copy, because he
Mm,
quickly said, we got a prenup.
mm, mm, mm. So my thing. I keep saying 24 is an odd number. She thought they didn't have no prenup, so she was saying, "I'm done. I'm ready to get out. I'm gonna ask for this money." And all of a sudden, he gonna put his lawyer on it and say, "Bam, we got a prenup." Hmm. That tells me. That just give me an insight of their marriage. He was being honest the whole time. Then
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just asking
sure.
the question.
It's just like I
I'm
said,
just
it's
asking the question
just
because
asking the question.
your husband ain't being honest to you. You've been married to the man for 24 years. You didn't ask about. He said no prenup, no no prenup, and
Right.
now
And
all of a sudden he not and now all of a sudden you want a divorce, and now he said he got a prenup. So he been lying the whole time you have been married to him. Then I'm just
he was serious about trying to get with her. Like he was serious about trying to get with that girl. He really was. Like she didn't want to mess with him because he was a rapper. If you remember, when they like she was like, a decent girl. I think she had a child. Didn't she have a child?
I'm not sure she had a child, but she gave her lawyer career to be with him. She gave her career
Yeah.
to take care of the kids. I'm just saying. Do she?
Her family didn't want her to be with him. She like kind of went against her family and everything.
So I just said, don't you owe her something? I ain't gonna say it might be 2 million a month, but shoot, can you shoot?
Can you
You owe her.
just
Is it she? I feel like you owe
can you
something.
just
Half of the
I would be
court.
like, now would you want the monthly spousal support or a lump sum
I'm greedy.
like Jordan's wife? I know
Mm.
you gonna say cash me out.
Cash me out.
Cash me out. Cash me
cash,
out.
cash me out. I still want things in. I see. I want some look. I would have my lawyer make sure. Look, I have a vacation home. A home is paid off. See, I'm not gonna be letting you cash me out before I get some things too. I'm just saying, just me. Um,
No,
this
absolutely, I agree.
this this is only Andrea Lynch's opinion on high air. This is my own opinion. Ain't nobody else's performance. My own opinion. So I'm put this disclaimer out there for everybody. Okay. I'll make sure I have a vacation home. I got
Hey, Mimi.
a couple cars, and an SUV, a smaller car too. They paid off, and he gonna make sure that have me a house too that he paid off too, and then you could cash me out.
Hola, Mr. Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and remember we in California too, so you gonna get half,
Half.
half. Say we in Cali, and you gonna get
Dre would be
half.
like, cash out my 400 million. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Yeah, so We in
Cause
Cali.
they said as of December of last year he was worth about 800 million.
So we in Cali, and you
Woo.
get half. You get half. We don't live in on East Coast. We don't on West Coast. In California law states, if you're married for a length of time, you get half. And
It's
she did.
cheaper to keep her.
That's what they said, but sometimes they don't want
Keep
to
her.
keep you. They said rather pay. And so 24 years, 24 years, it deserves something. Something. A vacation home, 2 cars, in a house is paid off too. How about that?
You want the house paid off, you want a vacation home, and you
hmm
want at least two vehicles.
Yeah, I want an SUV and a
I
BMW.
heard
Okay.
that.
Yep.
I heard that. I would too. I mean, depending on, like I would just be fair.
We can be fair. We can be fair. Oh yeah, we can be fair.
Derek said that's a crooked, corrupt, and unfair system.
Well, Mr. Williams is always going to feel like our system is
I really
corrupted.
think it all depends.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on the contribution that a person make. Now if she was helping him with things, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot to be said about raising children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when you have a woman that's at home that you can trust to make sure your household is together and to tie up all the loose ends, to cross all the T's, to dot all the I's, and make sure your children are raised right and well taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's a certain peace of mind that that gentleman gets to go off and do his job in a peaceful way. Like a lot of times mothers don't get that. if
No.
that was if that was her who was a big time producer or whatever, how comfortable would she be if she was on the road for 6 months or gone or whatever and her kids was at home? Would she be like, everything good,
Mm-hmm.
they all right? Probably, like I'm sure they would be good, but she probably be worrying all the time, tripping all the time, because it would be a double job for her. When a woman is doing really what she's supposed to be doing in a relationship, I think that it's an invaluable service.
And,
It's
and what
invaluable.
and what if she was just taking care of the household, put her dreams, her livelihood on hold to make sure them kids was raised the way she wanted them to be, and the husband who was making the money was doing that. So I feel like it ain't nothing wrong with that. He gonna pay her.
Oh, I might be a little offended. Wait a minute.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, Mr. Williams said, good point, but there's no fee for raising your own children. Poor women do that.
Excuse me.
Check this out, player.
Thank you.
Now
What?
you go. Now you go.
I'm offended. I'm offended. I'm
The
offended.
reason why I'm
Poor women.
offended is because for me myself, I've been married for 24 years. Let me just start right there. And we made a conscious agreement for me to stay home with our kids because we wanted somebody who actually loved them and cared about them
Amen.
to be involved in their life on a primary basis every day. And it wasn't like we didn't just initially have the luxury of doing that. It was a struggle, but it was a struggle that was worth doing because you only get one chance to raise a decent
Mm-hmm.
human being. Ain't no redos in raising
Mm-mm.
children. It's you get one shot. And so we made that conscious choice together that we would live off of one income. And in that time, in those 24 years, my husband as well built a business and we've acquired things. And it does make me nervous in this climate where, men will just pick up and leave or whatever. It's like it did for a minute be like, if I was married to somebody different, I might have been like, you know what, I got to get my own because I don't never know when he gonna pack up and leave. But because of who I'm in a relationship with, I'm blessed to know that even if we did go our separate ways, he would be fair, and he does not have the mentality that I'm the poor person in the relationship.
Of course, Fred is gonna be fair. Cause why he's gonna be fair? At the end of the day, he loved you. He loved you. And of course he's gonna be fair because he has children with you. Of course he's gonna be fair. He got life with you. Of course he's gonna be fair. You got 24 years together. I wish somebody would talk about somebody being fair.
Well, Derek said that poor women stay home and raise kids.
That's an excuse. That's an excuse, and that's not fair. And I take offense to that. Okay, okay.
I take he
I take
right.
offense to that.
It take a lot to offend me, but
Mm-mm,
that's a little offensive to
mm-hmm,
say that's what poor women do. But
mm-hmm.
that's his opinion, and I guess he's entitled to it, just like I'm entitled to say, in the words of my friend, that's that bullshit.
Bullshit. Okay.
Okay,
Because I don't.
pause for the cause on that.
Okay. I don't
That's that
feel.
bullshit.
I don't feel like poor.
If I had a son and he's if I got two sons and if they stayed home and their wives were stay at home moms and that was a choice that they made,
Mhm.
you got to remember too, for you and me, right? We
Yes.
didn't have grandma wasn't at home
Nope.
to be able to watch kids
Mm-mm.
and stuff, right? My
Mm-mm.
mom was working because she was a single mom. My husband's mom was working still because she was a single mom. So I
And
didn't
my
have
mama
the
and
luxury or the privilege of being able to say, oh, auntie such and such gonna watching you, or grandma, you gonna go to grandma's house. Like my son, he brings his daughter here. My granddaughter don't have to go to child care because she comes see her family. Because
and
we a
my mama
village over here in this
and
right here.
my mama was helping me with my kids because she didn't like my husband. So she said
Right,
I was out of the family. But at the end of the day, if we made a choice to stay at home because it money gotta make sense to us. We're gonna be paying
right.
more money in child care than me going to work every day.
Thank
So
you.
what was the point of
So
going to
what
work
did
every
you do?
we
You
I
opened up a child
that
care.
chair, okay? Because you gotta think about how you're gonna make some more money. So
Right.
no, so child care is high in California. At the end of the day, now that's the truth because
Hmm.
child care is high. Because I was a child care provider,
And
so stuff
the
is high.
sad thing about the way society is set up now is we place more value
Mm-hmm.
on going out and getting a job and having a career so you can have more money and a bigger house and a nicer car, right? Than
Mm-hmm.
we place on actually spending time with the people that we love. We
Yes.
place more value on how much money somebody got in the bank, or how nice their house is, or how expensive their car is, or whether or not they wearing a $700 Louis Vuitton belt, or whether or not they got red bottom shoes, than whether or not they doing the real stuff of taking care of the village that they're a part of.
Hey, hey, be quiet.
It's like the society is so materialistic. You know what I mean? Both parents work even when they don't have to work, you know, because that's what society tells them that they have to do. Now, we
I'm
definitely not talking about the mothers and the people and fathers who are out there doing what they have to do and they don't have those resources,
yeah.
right? Same as like how we said, we didn't have those other resources,
And my
right?
husband's
You was estranged from your family for a little while,
sure
you know what I'm
was.
saying? So it wasn't like the kids could just go to your grandma's house. And like I said, my mama was straight up like, she act like she was in her prime when I was just settling down to have kids. Eleanor wasn't watching no kids.
And my mother-in-law, she was working, so she watched the kids when I wanted to go out on the weekend. Oh, she did that, but she wasn't
Yeah,
watching
but
no
wasn't
kids
nobody just watching no kids for free,
for free.
Monday through Friday.
Friday, no, they
No,
wasn't doing that. You
the
gotta
only
pay.
person who doing that is grandma.
Yep, and my
Was it?
mom. Mm-mm. So,
Okay,
and my ex-husband started his business the day after we had our son. So that money didn't make no sense. Me paying $1,500 in child care a month, or for two kids, and my kids couldn't even talk.
right,
To a stranger. Mm-mm. I stayed at home and opened my own business.
right,
So Dr. Dre's wife, she was raising them kids, making sure they would be productive citizens of the United States. Nobody's in jail, nobody got a criminal record, and ain't nobody got no babies. She did her job. Now pay her and
right,
keep it moving.
exactly. No, it like I said, it all depends on what contributions that you made. I mean, when my husband needed logos for his business, when he needed a tagline for his business, when he needed certain things, I was there helping him with that. I was there helping him network. I was there encouraging him, helping him to build
and
that.
and that's
And
and
they're
that's
making sure that he didn't have
and
nothing else to
and you
worry
know what?
about.
And that is the one element that I think the men forget about that.
Right.
That's the
Right.
element they forget, that we was the one helping you with that business. We was one giving you ideas in bed. We was the one who's encouraging you, saying you could do it. That's the weight element they forget about that. Now I don't know if she was over there making records with Dr. Dre, but I don't know. I don't know what all she did. But honey, if she feel like she asked for that kind of amount of money, obviously she feel like she done something. Now it's the lawyers to negotiate
Okay.
and get the price down to what they feel like is best.
Right.
But I'm just saying it's all about negotiation. He probably can get her lawyer to negotiate better. I don't know.
Right. Derek said it sounds like just waiting to exhale. No,
No.
that's not. Nobody is. No, nobody is. I mean, I interpret that as like waiting to exhale, like we just sitting around, bashing guys.
No.
That's not that. That's not the case.
No. Because remember, it's women who had to pay too. Just don't forget about it. Ain't just the men. It's women who are multi-millionaires and paying men off too. I'm just saying, it ain't just the men doing it. Women are doing it too.
And and you right, Mr. Williams. We are fearless. And you should be thankful. Um, I wouldn't say she gave away a career
Hmm.
because she still has a career. She wanted to pick up with, at any point. It's not like you as long I'm sure she didn't let her license lapse or what have you. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is pay the renewal every year to keep your license. So I'm sure she's still licensed to be a lawyer. She's just not a practicing lawyer. And she didn't give away a career. She traded, she switched careers for a while. Because being a mother and being a wife is
Hmm.
a career.
Yes.
It's the most important career that there is. There's no career greater on this planet than
Hmm.
being a mother.
Mm-mm. And seeing somebody and seeing your child graduate from school, graduate from college, and being
I'm
the
tell you
best
right
person.
now, as a mother, I'm a PR person, I'm a lawyer,
Hmm.
a executive chef. You understand me? I'm a CEO, I'm a
Thank you.
CFO. All right.
You got to
I
help them
know
think about stuff.
I'm a dry cleaners.
Hmm.
I know how to sew. I know how to put don't play with me. I got all the jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, under one moniker, mama.
I'm just saying, you got to do all that for your children. And she was, who was going to soccer practice? Who was going to baseball practice? Who was going to basketball practice? Who was going all that? Because I don't believe Dr. Dre probably did that much. I'm just asking the question.
Oh, because he was
How many
because he
times?
was doing what he loved.
Yeah.
Because he was doing what he loved, right? He was doing what he loved, right?
Hmm.
It just
Hmm.
so happens. The thing is it just so happens that what he loves to do makes a lot of money,
Yes.
right? Creating human beings for whatever reason doesn't make a lot of money.
So I'm
Nurturing human beings doesn't make a lot of money. You wonder why kids is around here shooting up schools and shit.
I'm saying what practice was she what practice was he at? What baseball game did he stay at? And if he did stay, he only came 15 minutes, and
Right.
he had to leave. Just saying.
Oh my God, look who's here. Look who in here. Logic. What comments you got to say? You are
We
you gonna
do
keep your
get some
comments to
comments. Yes.
yourself? Don't keep your comments to yourself.
You are open to the chat. We okay with that logic. Hmm.
No, we don't know he didn't go. She meant he probably wasn't doing it on and on, on the everyday basis. Like he probably wasn't the main person that was doing that because he was the
The
breadwinner.
breadwinner.
He was the breadwinner. I mean, my husband didn't go to every soccer practice or every football practice or every taekwondo practice or every gymnastics practice or every recital at the school or every parent teacher conference. You know who
Mm-hmm.
did that? She did that.
Mm-hmm.
My husband came when he could because he was building a business,
And my ex husband did the same
which
thing.
is par for the course.
It's okay. I'm saying it's okay. All I'm saying is it's okay because he building a business that has something for the kids. That's fine. But what I'm saying is he didn't come that many practices. I'm the one who's sleeping in the car and still working a graveyard shift. Okay, I'm just saying.
Hmm.
I'm the one who's gotta be at work at 11 o'clock at night and still gotta go home and cook while we at a football game, a football practice, and cheerleading practice.
Right.
Ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody mad because I ain't mad.
Right.
I'm just
No, I
saying.
don't, and I don't make assumptions about people's situations. I mean, I guess it could be, I consider what I'm thinking uh, a conclusion of the circumstance because you like if he's heavily into producing and we're talking about that she gave up her career to be home to raise their kids and to support, the household and, basically it's like you do that because somebody has to tie up all the loose ends, right? Somebody got to make sure all the bills is paid. Even though it's his money that she might be paying the bills with, somebody has to make sure that all those things are done and taken care of. And there's a peace of mind that you have when you have somebody. It's like having a personal assistant, right? It's like having the most bomb personal assistant
Mm-hmm.
and they take care of everything. And all you have to do is make money. That's all you have to do. And then the blessing on top of that for you is all you have to do is make money doing what you love.
Mm-hmm.
Lodger says she gave up her career because he made enough money and she didn't have to work.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean that the work that she does is still not worth something.
Mm-hmm.
It implies that mothering is worth nothing
Yeah. Yes.
because everybody knows that people in society only care enough about what makes money. So the reason why people look down on mothers and don't have respect for mothers is because
Mm-hmm.
mothers is a job that pays $30 an hour. Meanwhile, the reality is that without us, this world would go to shit. And a mother doesn't just mother their own children. You know what I mean? Like I
Thank
mother
you.
the children of my friends. I mother
Mm-hmm.
my nieces and nephews. Like when I say I'm a mother, I am a mother. I'm a mother
Mm-hmm.
to my friends sometimes
Yeah.
when they don't have their mothers in their lives. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
just their friend. You know what I'm saying? I come always as a mother. Even when I have had jobs, and I have had jobs, I just
Mm-hmm.
don't care to mention that because my job that I'm most proud of and that I've been most privileged to have is that of motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So even when I had jobs that made money, I always was still like, now I'm going home to my real job.
Yep.
He said, Logic said she gave up a career because he made enough money for 30 lawyers.
Okay, then what? Then
Yeah.
okay, if he made enough money for 30 lawyers, the argument is then what's wrong with him?
So the preference, so I get, I'm imagining. I mean, I imagine what the guys are saying is that she should have got 30 nannies and kept her career
But why? Why? What's wrong with the woman staying
because
home?
it's better to pay the nanny. It's better to pay some stranger to come in your house
Uh
and
uh
raise your children. I
uh
guess
uh.
I don't understand. I don't understand who guys think is gonna take care of these children's spirits
Thank you.
and they hearts and they souls. Anybody could come in and just make meals and do whatever and all of that. You
Was
know what I'm
was
saying?
was TC's asking for a link. Was Dr. Dre down there kissing, giving boo boos and good night bedtime stories and all that? I'm just asking the question. Was he down there doing that? I think he was in the studio
You
making some
know,
beats.
this is a real old school mentality. This
Mm-hmm.
whole this
Yes.
whole too many men, getting screwed by the system. Check this out. Men out here got rights, okay? Because I got a son who got 50-50 custody of his daughter, okay? And his baby mama tried to take his daughter from him and take him to court about it and this, that, and the third. And that's when mama over here turned into a lawyer, okay, without no law degree or having to take the bar. Okay, I did what the research that I needed to do to figure out what my son needed to do to fuck 60 lawyers. He didn't need all that. Y'all got rights out here maybe that you don't even know about.
and you
And
and you
not just in
and you scared.
California. When I was doing the research for my son, I seen the rights that men had about their kids in all states.
And maybe the problem is the men are scared to go to the courthouse because they're scared they're gonna get caught with something. Maybe the problem is you ain't doing your investigation to see what your rights are. So don't talk about if you don't know your rights. That's on you. Don't know your rights. And if the women are making sure they know their rights, that's good for them.
Right. I mean, back in the day, everything was slanted towards women because women stayed home. Okay, when you talking about the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, women stayed home. Women worked at home. Women were maybe teachers, seamstresses. Women stayed home with their kids for the most part. That was their main job, and it was a man's world. Men worked, women stayed home. So therefore, if a couple broke up, it was just seemed like common sense that don't disrupt the kids and the women, leave the kids
Mm-hmm.
where they're already taken care of all the time. If daddy all gone, sharecropping here and sharecropping there, doing that, how he gonna take care of kids and do that? But now it is a different time. And it just so happens that my son had enough resources and enough family and people around to help him that he could say, I'm not finna take care of you while you take care of my daughter and then only see my daughter 4 days a month. No, ma'am. I want my daughter with me half the time. And we gonna go and you not gonna get nothing. And you gonna take care of your end and I'm gonna take care of my end.
Look, and my mama stayed at home. She raised 7 kids, and I think my mom only had about 2 jobs when we was like in high school. That's when she got another job. But my daddy thought raising 7 kids and my mom stayed at home, money gotta make sense to us. So he was like, "You can stay at home. I make the more money." And she was raising us to be good people and good citizens. She didn't want nobody to see somebody that we don't even know.
So Logic said this comment. Um, First, Derek said maybe you have judges that prejudge. They do.
Oh God.
No, they do. They do. That's true. You are gonna, because if you're talking about like the 50s or the 60s, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the people who are sitting in the seat as judges grew up in homes where what the mama stayed home,
Yes.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
they are going to be a little convoluted and maybe prejudged at first towards the woman. That's just comes from their own upbringing. It's hard for a human being to be totally impartial. It has to be a conscious choice to be impartial, I believe. Um, but then Logic said females are complaining they don't want to marry us. Where?
Where? Who said that?
Who this?
Who said that?
Harpo, who this woman?
Who said that? The point.
Logic, who this woman
The
that
point.
don't that had your baby and don't want to marry you?
Because
I don't know.
what I understand is y'all want to have babies and don't want to get married. That's the problem.
Right, right. Because that was another thing that we was gonna talk about is why men are so willing to have
I
women with
bet
children but don't want to get
get
married.
married.
And which commitment is greater, having a child with somebody or marrying somebody? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've always believed that marrying somebody is, it's supposed to be a sacred commitment, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a forever commitment if you don't have children. If you have children and you're both going to be a part of those children's lives,
That's a
that
commitment.
commitment, whether you like it or not, is forever.
That's for life.
Okay, it's like you and your ex-husband, right? If you didn't
Mm-hmm.
have Veronica and Quentin, you would have no reason to see, talk to, or deal
Mm-mm,
with him
mm-mm,
ever again in life if you didn't
ever,
want to.
ever. That's
Right?
right.
You could
Mm-hmm.
just walk away, wash your hands, and that could be, something you talk to about with your old friends that knew him. They'd be like, "Wasn't you remember the dude you was married to back in 19?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember that guy?" you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's who he would be. But when you have
Yes.
kids with somebody,
You doing life with them.
you doing life with them.
You doing
Cause when
life
the
with them.
cause when the kids have kids, you at the hospital, and
Yep.
who you gonna see?
It's him.
Grandpa over here.
Mm-hmm.
When the baby girl get married, who you got to deal with at the wedding? You got to sit on the pew
Mm-hmm.
with this
Grandpa.
nigga. Exactly. Who you got, anytime any life things happen, you
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to deal with him. If one of them get hurt and end up in the hospital,
Man. So
here
you
you
do.
go, you got to see him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
So
you
he's
doing life.
always gonna still be somewhat a part of your life. Yes.
So you are doing
Yes.
life with that person, and it's.
Read
I'm
the
just saying.
comments above first.
Uh-uh.
I, I don't understand what logic is saying. That's why men aren't getting married now. Oh,
Huh?
because of the thing with them. Oh, because well, I'm logic. I guess what you mean is that's why men aren't getting married now. But you could just get a prenup. Like even
Yes.
a broke man could get a
Get a
prenup.
prenup.
You don't got to have money to have a prenup.
I tell my son that all the time. Get a prenup. Being broke.
Yeah,
That's not nothing new. We tell them. we,
right,
my son is very educated on that. I let him know. I let him know all the man. I make sure my son know.
right. All right, I would just say have a prenup, but
Mm-hmm.
and still, even with a prenup, once the marriage is disillusioned, you can go your separate ways. A prenup ain't gonna save you from having to see this person for the rest of your life because you have children together. When that child graduate from high school, guess who at the graduation?
He
That
is.
that
He
heifer you
is.
can't stand.
He is with the
I,
new wife. He's at the graduation with the new wife. Okay.
right. That's why I be like, guys, come on. You putting the cart before the horse, and women too. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, my husband was like that. Like when I talked to him about marriage when we dated back in the day, it was like, oh, I'm not ready. When I talked to him about a kid and said we gonna have a kid next year, he was all down. I said, this idiot, this idiot right here, I love him to death. He's so sweet and innocent. He gonna
Mm,
be mine forever.
mm.
So yeah, we had a baby first. Even though we had been together for 7 years, we had a baby first, and then we got married a year later because clearly he was ready after he seen how much commitment having the child was. You was ready for that commitment, but you wasn't ready to have a child. That's what made me start having that mentality, was my own experience with that, and watching him grapple with the whole being married and tied down. Don't nothing tie you down like a child.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Mm. That's a human being. You got to raise. That's a human being. You got to mold and shape into a person they can be.
So we all go through that shit. Men in 2020 just choose not to get married. Hey, it is. People do choose not to get married. And I like I said, I wonder why, because if you can, no, you know what, I ain't gonna say I don't wonder why, because me and my husband always joke about that at the church when we got married, that the priest gave us our marriage license, And he wasn't supposed to give us our marriage license. Whoever officiates the wedding is supposed to mail it off. That you're not supposed to ever get your hands on it other than to sign it at the end of the wedding, right? And so when we got it, we joke now that had we known what we know now, we would have just ripped it up and we would have had a spiritual marriage, in the church, but we wouldn't have had a legal marriage. um because it's like legally so many things are attached, and sometimes not for all the best reasons, even for not just for each individual but for the couple as a whole. Like when you're doing business and things like that, like it's reasons why in the United States, people want you to get married and things like that. So marriage to me is much more a spiritual thing and not a governmental contract. And so I could have done without the contract, to be quite honest. Would you get married to somebody without the contract?
You know what? I'm not me being married again. Mm-mm. I would. I
No,
would
but I'm
have.
saying, would you be married to? When I say without the contract, I mean, would you get married like on a beach somewhere
Oh
and
hell
have
yeah.
a
Mm.
spiritual ceremony,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
But not have it be a legal marriage.
Yes, yes. I
Like you
would.
could still wear a wedding ring, you could still call him your husband, you can because he's your spiritual husband.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You're
I
just
didn't.
not
I
husband
didn't.
and wife under the eyes of the United States government.
Yeah, I don't see. Remember, I got married at 22. I got married. I
Mm-hmm.
got divorced at 27. So I see. I'm finna be 46 in January. I see things a little different now, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like just for me. I don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I want to get married again. Now, do I want a
Mm-hmm.
specific other? Yes, I do. Do I want a commitment? Yes, I do. But I don't think I'm gonna be signing no paper away, and we gonna have to go through this again. I will never go through a situation that I went through before. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I'm and now that my life is a different now, I wouldn't do that because nope.
No.
No, because money's involved. When money's involved, it changes people. And I'm just saying. Now I
That's
agree.
true.
I do agree. I do. And like I have my own little opinion about this. I do agree with a prenup agreement, but
Mm-hmm.
and it's in the back of my mind, that's a little bit. I thinking having a prenup agreement, it almost say you setting yourself up for divorce for failure. You gonna get a divorce. When you do, you're gonna be. This is the thing you're gonna be. You're gonna be arguing over this situation, and it's gonna be money, things, and cars, and you're gonna be arguing over this.
Right. That's true.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a son now. I tell him every day whoever he gets married to, he gonna be signing a prenup agreement because I want to make sure he's protected. Now
Right.
his mother is a whole different ballgame now because I'm older and growner than he is, and I want to make sure he's protected. But I know better now my own self. No, I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
I want a commitment, and I'll get married on a doggone beach. But we ain't gonna have no papers that ties us that if anything if we ever break up, you gonna be coming after me for some stuff. No, that's what you ain't gonna do.
Mr. Dolomite said, romance without finance is a dang nuisance. I don't know what that means. You have the relationship
Hmm.
without the financial relationship. That seemed like it would be every man's dream to have for a guy for guys anyway to have romance without the finance.
And that's the same thing. What my mom used to say. Why buy that cow if you get the milk for free?
Hmm.
Just asking the question.
Hmm. That
Mm.
part. Yeah. Yeah. It just surprised. It just. I just wondered, like one, why is it so much money, you know, and
Well, does she have a right to have the same lifestyle? I'm just asking the question. This is somebody I'm not. I don't got as much money as Dr. Dre. I'm just asking the question. Does she has a right to have the same lifestyle
to be
that
honest, I
just hold on a minute,
go
hold on a
ahead.
minute.
I'll go ahead.
Do she have the right to have the same lifestyle that she was with Dr. Dre? Maybe that's why she got all them that amount of money. Maybe she feel like I don't know, but The question I'm gonna ask: Does does she have a right to same have the same lifestyle that she was living when she was with Dr. Dre?
I don't think she necessarily has a right.
Okay, not a
I
right.
think I think that it all depends on the circumstance, once again, and that if she is not leaving like under duress or something,
Mm-hmm.
like she's, not being threatened or anything like that, if she's leaving on her own accord, I think that, because I'm thinking how I would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would already be thinking that I got to make sure my ducks is in a row, my shit's together. I got to make sure that I got some business going on, because now my lifestyle and how I live is going to be up to me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not attached to this man, like I wouldn't think that I wouldn't think vice versa. If I was the person who was worth $800 million and I had a dude and I decided I didn't want to be with him no more, I wouldn't want it to be my responsibility to give him $2 million a month. I'm just saying. If he
Mm-hmm.
deciding that he don't want to be with me no more,
Mm-hmm.
then you're also deciding to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. But nobody.
Now, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? You want to start a business? You want to start a clothing line? You want to have a law practice? What you want to do? I'm a damn sure help you get yourself together so you can have some viability on your own. Cause if anything, cause I got it like that. You feel me? And cause I
Mm-hmm.
can. Okay. I don't think for 1 second she's gonna be out here destitute. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But no,
And
no, but
and even if he did try to do something shady, she dumb. Cause for the last couple years that I knew that I was even thinking about not being with your ass no more, I would have been stacking cash somewhere that you don't know about.
mm-hmm.
Trust and believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just in case I even thought about that you would get a bug up your behind and get a bunch of lawyers so that I'm out here on my behind and don't have nothing. That's not never finna happen.
Mm-hmm. But the question I'm asking you, woman to woman,
Mhm.
does she have a right? I'm not saying living in a big old mansion. That's not what I'm saying. But does she have a right as the woman of his child, the mother of his children, the wife that he was married for 24 years? Does she have the right to live at least a decent lifestyle to compensate when she's with him? I'm just asking the question.
Yes, like I think she deserve a mini mansion, not like a ginormous mansion big enough for kids and a husband and all of that. Because if you want that, you need to get you a new husband that got money.
Okay.
What always peeves me, I'm gonna tell you right now, is that when women like this go ahead and they leave their husbands, and now they got all this money from the husband they had, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then they go mess with some broke nigga.
Okay. Okay.
That shit irritates me. I ain't even gonna lie. And I don't mean broke like, he got a decent job and he's, an average American money. I mean just a no job trying to get his life together dude, a struggling photographer or something. Like all of a sudden he's okay for you to date because you got the money, all this money from your ex-husband. So now your ex-husband, it's like the thought process is that your ex-husband is now living off of the money that you got. I mean, your new husband is living off the money that you got from your ex-husband. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yes.
Like I couldn't imagine Fred deciding to divorce me and I'm worth $800 million, and then he gonna go marry the next girl and now I'm gonna take care of him and her.
What you think about Ray J asking for Ray J and Princess getting divorced, and now
That's the other one, Ray
and,
J and
and Prince
Princess.
and now he wants to have custody.
Let me tell you something. His mama, that's
Mm-hmm.
another mama bear. That's a lawyer and everything else that she is, right?
Miss Sonya don't
Miss
play.
Sonia is a bad one. I aspire. I need some Miss Sonia classes,
Thank you,
okay?
Miss Sonya don't
Because
play.
she figured out a way. I feel like she
Mm-hmm.
figured out a way to
Mm-hmm.
get Princess to drop them divorce proceedings before
Yes.
in
Mm-hmm.
July, and then just so Ray J could be the one to file, because now he's at, because it's all about who strike first.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's asking for uh 50-50 custody of his kids. You
So
think he'll get that? I don't know
I
if he's
think
gonna get 50-50.
I think if Ray J can prove, and Miss Sonya gonna help him, if he can prove that he can get 50-50 custody of his children, and he ain't
Mm-hmm.
gotta pay no child support to Princess, or if he gotta pay her a little bit of money, he's gonna try that. Just Miss Sonya ain't no joke. She a beast, okay? And you playing with her baby. That's Ray J. Yeah, she a beast. Miss Sonya, yes. She's gonna make sure that he got, if he gotta pay her something, he ain't gonna have to pay her a lot.
Yeah, I mean they ain't been married that long.
No, she ain't getting no alimony. They ain't married 3 years. So
Yeah,
if he got to pay her something, he gonna pay her some child support. And
yeah.
Rachel's gonna try his best to not pay that much money in child support, because he said he'd rather have his children.
Oh, he said that.
He'd rather have his children.
Mm.
Now all Miss Sonya gonna do, and Ray J too, and Princess Lawyer, they gonna go in there and do the negotiation. And if it comes down to 50-50, and they negotiate it, and it seems like it's the equal amount, he might not have to pay but a little bit. Erica, what happened to you? Did you come out to scream, Erica? Okay. Um, well, I don't know what happened to Erica. She did some been out the stream. You know, all I say is Ray J might just not have to pay. And now we got Carly B and her husband Offset breaking up too. Got all these divorces. And, I just don't know. Ray J only been married to Princess about, I think they only been married about 4 years now. And Carly B only been married to Offset about 3 years. She wanted out too. They have a young daughter. So I just don't understand. Do I think Ray J is uh do I think Ray J is a baby boy? Is Miss Sonya at the end of the day, can Ray J be a baby boy? Probably he is. But if I was his mama, I would look out for his best interest, and that's what a mother's supposed to do. I don't care if it's a mother, it's a father. We're gonna always look out for our children's best interest. So if Miss Sonya is looking out for Ray J's best interest, more power to her. I salute her to the mama for looking out for her son's best interest. And if Princess might not get as much as child support as she thinks she's gonna get, well, that was her own her bad. Cause I'm gonna look out for my son's best interest, and my daughter's best interest. Any parent will look out for their children's best interest. Period. That's what a parent's supposed to do. Marriage. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. Um, did I expect Carly B and Offset to be stay married? No, I didn't, and I'm surprised that she stayed this long with him. You know, they was young. These are young people getting married. You know, plus he had cheating ways, and maybe she got tired of it. Mm. Okay, now I'm back. Offset. They young. Cardi B got. I think she personally got tired of the cheating, and she couldn't handle it. It was too much. So she said she just gave up too on the marriage. But I don't agree with young people getting married so young. They should they should spend time knowing them who they are. I'm waiting for Erica to come back. I don't know what happened to her. What do the chat think? I want to know what everybody got to say. Because, in my opinion, maybe a little biased. Okay, I'm back. But what the chat got to say? Because I want to know what everybody got to say. Because, my opinion might be a little biased, different than everybody else's. Offset about to lose his family. Yes, I feel like Offset about to lose his family over his cheating ways. You know, he could did a little better. Just me. You know what? I I don't think there's nothing wrong that if you had a husband and a wife and y'all decide for y'all family that the wife stays at home. Because I did that. And if I'm gonna pay $1,500 in childcare and I'm just working 13, 14 hour job, we're losing money just paying for childcare. That don't make no sense. Money gotta make sense. And I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna be paying nobody $1,500 in child care when my kids can't talk. I'm a new mom, and then my husband said I could stay at home. That don't make any sense at all. So I stayed at home. That's just what we did. Now everybody had to pick and choose for their family and what's best for their family. Or what's best for my family is I didn't have no grandmother, and my mother-in-law, she worked, and I didn't have no sisters. They was all working. Only person I had to watch my child when I did work with my sister-in-law until she had her baby. So what works for everybody's family, it might be different. But I don't feel like it's nothing wrong that a mother's decide to stay at home and raise her kids while the man's out there working. That's just me. Everybody don't have no extended family. Everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't have extended family to watch their kids. A lot of people only have each other. I mean, that's just where it is. He's on. Yeah. Everybody doesn't have extended family. I mean, it's 7 sisters and brothers, but everybody was working in my family, and my mama wasn't talking to me. So what was I supposed to do? I mean, you have to do what you have to do. I just it don't make no sense to pay for some child care when the parent can stay at home. That's just me. You know, everybody can do things different. And Ray J. Oh, my co-host, my co-creator come back. Did she
Lord
forget about
Jesus.
what happened? I was like, did she leave me out here by myself?
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus.
I was like, I'm
Oh
about.
my God. People, when I say I was like locked out, I thought this is not a game.
I said, I'm
I
about
was like
to.
locked out. I was like looking at the chat on my phone, like, thank God Andrea could talk her behind off because
I'm
it would
about
be
to.
all bad right now.
I'm about to. I was like, I'm about to hurt Erica when I got this phone.
That was horrible.
Oh, mm-mm.
That was horrible. Well, thank you for holding it down. You and Real
Shit.
Mamas and Derek, y'all been having a whole conversation over here. I was locked. I was like, I cannot get in. It would have me locked out of the broadcast studio.
Okay.
Lord Jesus.
Okay. So okay. So back to Ray J. Oh, first of all, you
Y'all
know
was
what?
talking about Cardi B and Offset and them. Yeah, we knew that that was in the thing that we was that Cardi Ray and Dre's wife filed for divorce all in the same week.
But Cardi B has put up a lot with her Offset. I mean, how much? What the R. Kelly song, his famous song, "When a Woman's Fed Up."
Yeah, I figured that like one thing that we remember from when Cardi was on Love and Hip Hop, right,
Hmm.
was that she's faithful. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
she
Like
loyal
like
to the
like
end.
she loyal. She about that life. She was loyal to the
To the end.
to the dude in jail. Remember?
Yep. So one thing. So
Everybody was like, "This girl."
yeah, she
Yeah,
loyal to the end. So my thing is, she must got fed up with his cheating tendencies because he got them, and they are on display for the whole world to see.
right,
R. Kelly made that song really famous when a woman's fed up. Shoot, that's the truth.
right. Yeah, so I'm not surprised, especially if there's been cheating rumors before, and they had issue with this before, and then they got back on track again, and they was cool again. Um, but this is this is chronic like the plague when you talk about ball players, rappers, you know. any type of
Everyday,
athlete,
everyday folks,
everyday
everyday,
folks.
everyday folks is cheating too. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
every
know you're right.
everyday folks. This happens to everyday folks. Folks is saying, look,
It
this.
does, but every day, I think everyday folks don't have as much of a luxury to do it
Yes,
because they got a
yes,
lot more to lose. You know what I
yes,
mean? Because they don't
yes,
have as much money. I
yes.
think that, people who have lots of money don't necessarily see it as a loss if a person walks away from the marriage. I
True.
mean, yeah, you might lose some cash or whatever, but you still gonna be all right.
Yes, but everyday folks, it could be devastating to the whole family. I'm just being honest to everyday
Yeah.
folks. With these
Derek
people,
said they too young and clearly too immature for marriage. Yeah.
true. I definitely agree
Yeah,
with
I
that.
definitely thought that too. And I thought it was like too fast and too
Too soon,
soon,
and a
especially in
baby,
her getting her money and getting her fame and all of that. Um, you know, I
huh?
think it was just too soon. She didn't get to marinate in it on her own for a while before all of a sudden it was like,
Well,
you know,
do you do you think do you think that her presence and her fame overshadow him, and
I
that
was
could be,
just about to
and
say,
and
I
that
was just about to say that.
and that could be one of the contributing factors to this.
That definitely could be.
Hmm.
That
Because
definitely could be.
I personally feel like, I mean, just as me, my own personal opinion, my own
Mhm.
thoughts, call Andrea Lynch.
Mhm.
When a woman overshadows a man, sometimes their egos can't take it. I'm just saying.
Mhm. Oh wow, I was going. Derek said a woman loses some independence relying on a man.
Oh God, Jesus help us.
Who said? Who said it's not? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
When
It's
we,
not a crime, but after a while, you got to work. It's the American way.
well, my mama did say that, and I sure did say that.
I mean, but that
I mean, but the hashtag is, when we gonna still, what
this
I
my
find.
hashtag. I don't want it to be the American way. I
No.
think the American way is shit.
Mm,
Personally,
mm,
I think the American way is all about money,
fame,
money, money.
fame.
It's all about money and fame, and it's not about love. It's not about life and the true meaning of that. It's not about kids. It's not about family. It's not
Mhm.
about us taking care of one another, right? Taking care of each other on this planet that we've been gifted doesn't necessarily mean I'm giving you money, right? Taking care of each other's mental, physical, and spiritual well-being is so much more important than money. Money is cool. You feel me? Don't get me wrong. I got a little and money nice. But money for me just allows me to even focus more on the mental, spiritual, and psychological well-being of the people that I love, because then I don't spend that time worrying about money.
I
When
got
you're
a
not
question.
worrying about money,
I
huh?
got a question. I got a question to you.
What's up?
Question. You know, we
What
mamas, we
what's your
mamas around
question?
here. Okay, I got a
Hmm.
question because we mamas around here. Okay, so the thing
The
is,
blind follow tradition without question.
hold on, man. Whoever said that, just hold that
That's
thought.
logic. Logic
Okay,
said
okay, but
that.
hold that thought. Okay, so listen to this. We are young and we were black. Okay, so
Okay,
we
make this
we
up.
we have the traditions of the family. Okay, and when you met me, and you stopped by my house and you see my daycare sign, okay, obviously you felt like you wasn't, if you didn't trust me to take care of your son, and that's the child you gave birth to, you weren't going back to work, were you?
Who, me?
Yeah, you
No, I was gonna quit my job.
you don't quit your job. Why was you
Right.
gonna quit your job? Why was you gonna quit your job?
I was gonna quit my job because I didn't want anybody else besides family
Hmm.
having influence over my child before he was of a certain age.
Because you feel like if you had your child somewhere else, they would have influence on you, on your child, because you're not there, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
So the point is, you and your husband decided that y'all entrusted me with your son's life, and entrusted me that I was going to do right by him, and
Hmm.
you went back to, and you went to work.
And I kept my job. Yes.
and you kept a job.
Hmm.
But if I hadn't lived on that corner, and if I you didn't see my daycare sign, and you didn't trust me with your son, you would have been at home because it makes sense to y'all then. I'm just asking the question.
Right. It made sense to us because I can make a sacrifice of material things because material things are just an illusion to me. That's just how I feel. So I can make certain sacrifices in my everyday life in order to manage on one income, and so can my husband,
And you,
right? And so we took that into consideration. It wasn't
mm-hmm,
like we was gonna be like struggling and not being able to like feed our kids and our family, and I was gonna quit a job. No, that would be dumb.
mm-hmm,
No, if it was a question between feeding my family and working, no, I'd be working.
mm-hmm,
But I'm talking about my job was about having more luxuries, right? My
mm-hmm,
job was about having extra money and just
mm-hmm.
having more expendable income. And so that's why I worked around my children. And when I took the job that I took, it was because my grandmother, we moved close to my grandmother. And my uncle and my son was always with my uncle and his great grandmother. And so I loved, right? Because I knew she wasn't going to be here on this earth for the rest of his life. So I enjoyed the fact that she got to spend a saturated amount of time with him. Like that, like to me in a village, like that's how it's supposed to be. Like my sons were able to get the love and embrace and wisdom, right, of their ancestors before they left here and went into whatever realm is after this, right? They was able to do that because instead of having my kids in childcare and things like that, they were with their great grandmother, or they were with their grandparents, or they were with me.
And when Dougie came to me,
And I also had my oldest son went to school early because he was home with me. And I was essentially in quote unquote homeschooling him before homeschooling was a big thing like it is now because of COVID-19. I homeschooled him before he went to kindergarten, and he ended up in kindergarten at 4 years old, a whole entire year early. He graduated at 16, and the last year his last year of high school, I homeschooled him as well for his last year of high school. So, like I don't know. It's like being a parent means different things to different people. And I think that
wait a
one of
minute.
one of
What?
the guys said something about tradition, following tradition blindly. I think it was Logic said something about like that's bad. I agree. I didn't follow tradition blindly. I followed certain things with my eyes wide open, and when I didn't like the way something looked, I paid my own way and did what I thought was right.
But you was gonna do right for your family at the end of
Absolutely,
at
because
the
that
end of
was
it.
my that when I had kids, when I made the decision before I got pregnant the first time, and I made the decision that I was about to try to have children, I knew that it was going to mean sacrifice. It's like when
Mm-hmm,
you go to
mm-hmm,
college, right?
mm-hmm,
And you
mm-hmm.
like, I know I'm about to go to school, I'm about to embark on this educational journey, and it's gonna mean that I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices. It's gonna mean I can't go to the club every night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's gonna mean I can't do X, Y, and Z because I'm gonna have to study and I'm gonna have to really pour myself into this program. You know what I mean? To me, parenting was the same way. It was like
Mm-hmm.
there are some things that I'm gonna have to sacrifice. But to me, it's a small price to pay to
You
put
ain't
another
got
great king out here in the universe so some great queen can join forces with him and be phenomenal and be an asset to the world. Because that's really what you're doing.
yeah. So the thing I say it to say this: we and my family became a part of your family, and you left Dougie with me. He became my child too. So I had a part in raising who he is too. So the thing is, if we decided to meet other people and help, and they help raise a part of our children, that is a great thing. Because
Right.
you have to help raise my children. That's a
Right.
great thing, and that's a part of the village. Shoot. So my thing is, if we all just made the decision to stay at home in one part of my life, I don't regret staying at home for 7 years, because now if my kids did go to daycare, I would know if they had a problem with the daycare lady, because they could talk,
Right.
you know. And I'm
Hmm.
not I'm just not gonna have anybody just be around my children.
I
My
mean, I
my
felt like that my kids were gonna go to school, right?
mm-hmm.
And that once they get ready to get school age and they go to start going to school, that it's inevitable that they will now have other influence, right?
Yes.
I wanted that first 5 years to be able to leave a lasting impression on them, to be able to leave my mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that when they got bombarded with other things from the outside world, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would always have something solid to grasp to and fall back on. That they always knew that their parents were here for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And not that they relied on anybody outside of us to be examples to them. That's what I wanted to do in the first 5 years of my kid's life. That was just me. And I had the luxury and the blessing to be able to do that because I had a husband who was willing to work his ass off so
Mm-hmm.
I could be here. You know what I'm saying?
And,
That to me was a privilege. It wasn't a job.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't my right or something to be able to. It was a blessed privilege to be able to spend that time with them and to be home with my kids and do the things that I did with them. It's a privilege. I don't think a lot of people see it as a privilege. You know,
I
Derek
I
said maternal things are fleeting. They are. Maternal things are fleeting because maternal is being replaced with material. You know what I mean? Mama out here more concerned with getting red bottoms, right? Than she concerned about her kids' grades at school. That's unfortunate. Not
and
unfortunate for the mama, but it's unfortunate for the
for the
child
child.
and for society because once that child is an adult, now we as a society have to deal with the repercussions, right? Of this child having the mama that's more concerned with her expensive shoes than she is with the child.
Well, I mean, my thing is, I think I find being home with them the 7 years, it was enjoyment that when we went to the fire station, we went to the park and they were swimming and we did all them things. And I don't think I ever would able to do that stuff if I wasn't able to stay at home.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, it's the most precious things. And did they dad miss out on that because he was working? But he felt like it was his obligation to make sure his kids was living a happy life, and that means if the mama didn't have to work and he was gonna work, he felt like it was okay with him.
Right. Because he knew his kids were with somebody who loved them just as much as he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that they didn't have to share that you with anybody else. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? They have your undivided attention in that space. You know, I'm like a you know how you said I seen your sign in the lawn in the grass and I
Mm-hmm.
came and met you and I already had in my mind when I got out the car. If I don't like this lady, I had told Fred before I left home, I'm going to go see this lady. I'm gonna knock on her door. If I ain't feeling it, I'm gonna quit next week. Cause I
Mm-hmm.
just cannot send my child to a child care just so I
Mm-hmm.
can keep making some money, right? I'd rather not go on a couple of vacations. I'd rather not have that extra dress. I'd rather not have those extra expensive shoes and just have some more practical shoes, right? I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
do that, right? Than have a job, right? And have somebody else raising my kid essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People wonder why they don't know their kids.
Yep.
You don't even
Mm-hmm.
know who they're with half the time.
Yep.
You go to a child care, you meet the person at the child care, but you don't know who they're hiring to work at the child care with them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, nah, it was just a lot for me. And I was just like, no. I remember my husband, my mother-in-law being like, "You're not gonna go to work?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. It's a decision we made together."
Mm-hmm.
And
And
she was kind of like, "Oh." And it's like nobody trying to be extra or nothing like that. And trust me, nobody ain't never coming to you asking you for no money. We're never gonna do anything that means that we can't take care of ourselves. But if we can just have one income and like budget appropriately, and you know what, even and that's another thing that taught me during that time when I was
mm-hmm.
young. It taught me how to budget really well because since my priority was my kids, I had to have a budget when it came to my husband's finances because he was just starting out in his career,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it wasn't like there was a plethora of money in the beginning. No, there was not. It's like minimum wage is like what, 12 $10 $12 an hour or something
Yep.
now, or more than that.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when I was doing that, minimum wage was like $8.
Mm-hmm.
Fred's first apprenticeship program he was in was paid him $9.25 an hour. Okay. And we did the damn thing. I managed that cash down to the penny.
So I mean, so
And
that's
we
what.
never had no food stamps or no extra shit coming from nowhere. I managed everything I did. You know what I mean? So it taught me that when we did get money, I still know how to handle that money.
I
So
still.
I will say that on the back end, it was a it was an unexpected lesson in finances that it also gave me.
But you know what? I remember them times with my mother. Um, when we was growing up, that she was with us. My dad was at work, so I definitely still believe in the tradition of the mother being home with the child. Now, if the mother has to work, I get that and I understand that. But there's nothing wrong with the mother being home with the child. There's nothing wrong
No,
with that. There's
if
nothing wrong with
that's what,
that.
it's nothing wrong with the mother working. It's nothing wrong with the mother being at home. I
Hmm.
get irritated when there's this mentality that it just thinks that everybody's supposed to work and
Yeah.
everybody's supposed to have a job because everybody is working. If I'm at home, let me tell you something. This week is not my son's week with his daughter, and I'm not working. Right? I'm nice and privileged and chilling. When my granddaughter is here, Andrea, am I working?
Yes. You don't even really answer the
You
phone.
don't. You don't. Right. You can, because when I'm focused in on something, I'm focused in on that thing. I am with her, doing stuff with her, sitting with her, teaching her all kinds of things. The girl's so smart, it's ridiculous.
But at the same time, the lucky thing about it is you are grandma. You have a luxury to stay to be
What you
able
call
to.
me?
You're a
What you
grandma.
say?
You're a
She my
grandma.
granddaughter, but I ain't no grandma.
You're a
You out
grandma.
of pocket now. You doing too much. Nah, I'm just
you,
playing.
you have luxury to be raised. Yes, you have a luxury to be raising your granddaughter too, and be able to do that. Most of these
And it
grandmamas
is a luxury.
and
It's a privilege to
most
me, just like raising my kids.
yeah, most of these grandmamas is working. So I mean,
Right.
I'm just saying to
The
have luxury,
privilege. It bring me so much joy.
to have
I
a
tell you.
luxury to have a luxury to be able to to help raise another human being, but as part of my son, man, that's the most joyful thing. And if I'm just saying this, I'm glad that I was able to stay at home for them 7 years to mold and shape Veronica and Quentin Lynch, and ain't nobody can take that away from me. I was a good damn mama, and if you felt if their daddy felt like I should be at work, we decided it's gonna if we gonna money didn't make sense to us. Stay at
So
home, keep the kids, and I'll just take care of y'all. But
right.
when we
So
got divorced, when we got divorced, oh, trust Andrea
it
Lynch
was
had
a
a job.
different
It
situation.
was a
Right.
different situation. So
And to say what like Derek had put in a comment, Mr. Williams put in a comment that said, "I will yield to the fact that men think earning money is enough, which is wrong. Men can and should nurture children."
well, they
I,
ain't nurturing them. They
but they
working.
should,
So you can't you can't but they
well
should.
what you
But they
do
should. They
is
should.
you're working, right? But then what you
Mhm.
do is when you come home, like how what my philosophy was that like I
Mhm.
never made Fred the bad guy.
Mhm.
I always, because you have a limited time, because when you think about it, if you have a job or a career, right, by
Mhm.
the time you come home from that place of employment or whatever you're doing, it's maybe 6:30 in the evening, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But if the kids go to bed by 9:30, right, in
Mhm.
that 3 hours they still have to eat dinner, take their
Mhm.
baths, and we got
Mhm.
to spend time together. So you
Mhm.
got to get real creative, right, in
Yes.
about the quality time that you spend with them on a daily basis, because the reality is they spend more time with other people
Yes.
than
So
they
I
do you.
so I
Right?
must
You only see your kids in passing when you work. So I never made him the bad guy. I was never the mom that was like, wait till your father gets home. Never ever said that.
uh-huh.
I used to tell Fred, you're not even gonna spank them, or yes, I said spank. You're not gonna discipline them or do any of that
Mhm.
because I don't want that to be a part of how they see you. I don't want them to think that when comes home, he's the one that we always get in trouble from. No,
Well, no,
because I got more time to love on them. I got
mhm.
more time to balance out the discipline with all
Mhm.
the love and affection and all of that I'm giving them.
Mhm.
So let me be the disciplinarian, right? Because I got time to balance it. You don't.
Yeah,
And I don't want them to hate you or not like you because it's like every time daddy come home, all he do is get on us about what we did all day. No, that would have been unfair. So he
yes.
did just only have time to maybe give them a bath,
Mhm.
or sit down and talk to them or spend some time with them, before we had dinner or whatnot. But you just have to be creative with the time.
No, no.
But all men should nurturing their work to me is part of the nurturing.
Yes, but what I was gonna say is you had different dynamic. I didn't. So I feel like personally,
Mm-hmm.
when my ex husband was nurturing some children, it was the most time that he had him on the weekend that the week his week that he had the children. So I'm saying is I
Yeah, he
personally
was a
feel
fun dad.
yeah, he was a fun dad. But I personally feel like when we got divorced, that's when I seen that he became a better father to me when we got divorced. Because I'm like, when we was in the house, he was like, I'm tired. He wasn't doing nothing. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Well,
He
that
wasn't doing
goes
nothing.
to
So
what I
I
will
feel
say is you're right
so.
because that goes to how y'all grew up though.
Yes, yes, that's true.
That's the dynamic. Like y'all parents,
Mm-hmm.
one were older than mine,
Yes,
right? Both of y'all
yes,
parents, so y'all grew up with a different set of with parents that had a different set mindset than mine.
yes.
Plus y'all parents came from the Carolinas, right?
True, true.
So things were much more traditional where it was men work,
Mm-hmm.
women run the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, that's all. Those lines don't get blurred, they don't cross. It
True.
is what it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I come home at 5 o'clock, dinner better be ready. And daddy would come home and be like, I don't even want to deal with no kids because I've been stressed out here working all day and I don't even want to be bothered. That
So.
was kind of like the mentality between men and women back then. Me, on the other hand, I grew up with parents who were young. They
Mm-hmm.
grew up and they had me at 17 and 18 years old. They got married in their early 20s. I was there. Um, and my dad just had a different, my dad combed my hair for school. My dad was not a traditional, what they would say, dad. My dad, even when they got ready to go their separate ways, my mom was always fearful that my dad would try to take me with him
Mm-hmm.
because he could be a mom and a dad. Just like a mom sometimes is forced to be a father when she's single, she knew that my dad got this if he need to. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And so he wasn't so traditional. So I think that's why sometimes I don't adhere to I am traditional, but then sometimes I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really kind of just do what I feel, energy wise, what I feel is right in the moment. I think
Yeah.
because part of me is more traditional than you, which is weird. It's fucking weird. Isn't that weird?
No, because I'm like, but against the,
It's
but
weird.
against,
It's
but against the
weird because
system.
you grew up more traditional and you
And
started out more traditional, right? With
yes,
those more traditional roles, you know what I mean?
yes, yes.
And
Now I'm
I
like,
didn't, but then I went more traditional. You know what I mean? Like it's weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, I feel like when we got divorced, he became a better dad,
Yeah,
because
because he had
because
to do it.
he had to do it, and I was.
When he had the kids, you weren't with him. You weren't there. So now what he always relied on you to do, right?
Hmm.
He had to do himself. That's
Yes,
why he got better. Because now there wasn't anybody there doing for him what he should have been participating in even when you guys were together. So to
yeah,
me, that's what I call that sometimes when you lose, you really win.
yes.
Because the kids probably got to, the loss is that mommy and daddy aren't together. The win is that daddy probably became a better daddy.
Hmm. Well, so
Trey would be like, that's that bullshit. You always want to make something be like, see, everything is flowers and roses. She'd be like, that is that bullshit. Whatever, Erica.
he a okay dad. Okay, he don't get me wrong. My kids have learned things that what did my parents probably teach us. No, we're a little different. I'm a little more open than my parents are, and I'm glad I am. And I always have been the person that asked my mama all these questions because she said I asked me damn questions when I was a little girl anyway. But at the same time, is I wanted different from my children. I wanted a different role, but at the same time, growing up and even raising my kids, remember what you used to say? Why the boys got
Mhm.
to empty the garbage and the girls got to clean the kitchen up?
I did. I used to be so hot. See what I'm saying? Like it's some things about you that was like so old school conservative. I used to be like, why can't Quentin cook for Veronica one night? Or why does Veronica always have to wash the dishes? Why she can't throw out the garbage and he wash the dishes? Like I used to be like, oh, this just irks my nerves.
But I just been prone to see that
That's how you grew up.
that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
That women keep the house, women do this, women do that, and the men go out and work. Um,
Right.
yeah, that's what I did with my son and my daughter. But it used to be, if they, why Quentin can't take the garbage out? Why Veronica gotta wash the dishes? I was like, because I said so. But
I used to be like, Veronica gonna be a bad one.
it's but she is. Actually, it made her be a strong. She
Made
is
her
a strong.
strong.
It's strong.
Made
She's
her
strong.
strong.
She is
Yep.
strong. She's a strong young girl, and I'm proud of her. And my son, honey, I just love him. But sometimes he be a dumb blonde. Sometimes I love him to death. But he got that dumb blonde syndrome sometimes.
I feel like
So,
in a world that's not so traditional, he has those traditional feelings about the roles of men and
well, the
women.
men, women, yes, yes.
And
When we
the
have a
hard part is
conversation,
that he has to understand though that if you want that traditional type of girl, you're gonna have to be a traditional type of man.
yes,
That means you're gonna have to be a breadwinner. That
yes,
means you're gonna have to be a go-getter.
mm-hmm,
That means you're gonna have to get that bread to take
yep,
care of a family,
yep,
right? And
mm-hmm.
it can't be like hustling bread. It gotta be guaranteed every week bread.
Money.
You
Hmm.
feel me? Because the family can't go without eating.
And a
So
man,
you're
and you,
not going I would never date somebody that doesn't have that mentality if I'm a traditional woman,
yeah,
right? Because you don't have the foundation that I need to stand on to be able to do my work.
hmm,
So you can't like have your cake and eat it too. You can't. I think it's unfair to say, I want somebody who gonna be a breadwinner but still be a traditional woman. Boy, bye.
mm.
I'm not gonna be out here making all the money and then coming home and cooking your meals.
That's what
You
I'm
must
saying
be
too.
crazy.
This is a team. This guy, you need a team player.
It's a
Ain't
team
about.
player.
You need a team player, and I tell my son that all the time. You need a team player, and if she's not a team player, you don't need her.
But
Cause I'm.
that's what I say about my sister. Like my sister Maisha,
Mm-hmm.
she's the breadwinner.
Yes.
Clearly the girl got a PhD
Mm-hmm.
and her husband is younger than her. God bless him. I love Mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think gender role wise, society puts pressure
The
on
man.
them not to live in the energetic field that they're in. The energetic field that they're in is that they have 5 children. They have a daughter in college, they have a son that's on his way to high school, and then they have 3 small children,
So
right?
I got a
So they
question for
need
you.
go ahead.
So do you think society looks down on a man that stays at home and take care of the kids, and the wife is a breadwinner?
Yes, I do. And I think it's unfortunate because I think my brother in law is a phenomenal father. You understand
Mm-hmm.
me? I
Mm-hmm.
think he's phenomenal as a husband and a father. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he has a much more nurturing spirit than
Mm-hmm.
my sister does. My sister has a PhD because that's what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My sister's a hustler. She's a go getter. She don't sit still unless she going to sleep. That's just how she is. That's how she always been since in my experience. So
But
my
but
thing is they should work their strengths, especially while they have children. When once they don't have children, and I'm not saying Mark can take classes on the side
mm-hmm.
or hone his own craft on the side or go back to school or do whatever he wants to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my sister is already doing what she loves,
But
right?
do you think that
Go ahead.
if do you think that do you think if society value mothers, if they value mothers
Mm-hmm,
like they should, if the
mm-hmm.
roles were reversed and the father wanted to stay at home and the wife is a breadwinner, they should value a father being home. Excuse me,
I think they would value it
nurse,
more
if
if they
nursing,
valued mothers than they would
mm-hmm.
value fathers.
And he's
But the
nursing his
but we
five
got
kids.
right.
Mm. But I don't see nothing wrong with that. If she's okay, that's
I
my
don't
thing.
either.
If it
The
works for
problem
y'all,
is that because society is not okay, she's not, in some ways
uh-huh.
she's not okay, right? Because some people care about what people think. Like
Yeah,
people always say, "I don't give a damn about what motherfucker think," but you do though.
but if it
Because if you saying that, like, if my husband cared about what people thought, then I would have had a job.
mhm.
Because his mama was saying, so she not gonna go to work. That's what his mama was saying to him. So she not gonna go to work. If he didn't believe in me and believe in what we had decided to do as a team, and if he cared about what his mother thought, quote unquote, right, then that would things would not have happened the way that they happened because he would have buckled under the pressure and he'd have been like, well, baby, maybe you need to go get a job. And he would not have agreed with my stance on wanting to stay home with my own children and not pay for and not give away my paycheck to childcare. He would agree with what his mother and his mother just felt that way because that's what she thought that you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the time when I stayed home, like I didn't know you back then and we lived in the Bay Area. And at that time, I didn't know no young girls unless it was young single mothers on welfare that stayed home with their kids. I ain't gonna even gonna lie to you. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody I knew was like, "Oh, this is my choice. I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom." That was not a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I made the choice to stay at home after I had that second baby. Shoot, and the child. We looked into child care. It was expensive.
Yes.
They was already saying $1,000 for Veronica. She was just not
Mhm.
even. She was just a baby,
Mhm.
and his sister took care of Veronica because she was pregnant.
Mhm.
So I mean, and I'm like, well, this we're gonna. I'm gonna go to a
This
part
one
time
now we're gonna have to put two in childcare.
two in
So
child
which
care.
means now I'm gonna have to have a job that makes at least double that to even justify me walking out my house.
So not only did we got rent, we got Corno. He's starting out his business too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we gonna be struggling in a minute and can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
And not only you gonna still be struggling, right? Even though both people are working,
Yes.
right? You're gonna still be struggling. You're never gonna spend time together because everybody working. Everybody gonna be stressed out because money's still gonna be tight because you're paying for childcare, right? Like
And
it's
then
just too. It just becomes too
too
much.
much. And then on top of that, diapers is expensive. Milk is
You're gonna
expensive.
be eating out because everybody working, so nobody's gonna want to come home and cook dinner,
And then you got your kids over somebody's house, or a child care center you don't even know.
right?
Mm-mm.
On top of that,
On top of that.
you don't know
Mm-mm.
if they spending all day in one diaper. You don't
No.
know if they, like neglect doesn't have to be egregious.
Mm-mm.
It
No.
doesn't have to be where, to me, caring for a human being doesn't it isn't always measurable. On a scale or something. It's not always measurable in that way.
I mean, it,
I don't
it,
know. I just always felt like can't nobody care for my
my
kids like
child
I
like I
can.
can. Mm-mm. And now, and maybe I was, maybe I have grew up with my mom and being at home and we coming home after school. She didn't have to work, and my daddy was okay of paying all the bills. It was
Hmm.
something that he thought was important. He thought his wife was important, that she be the the person that the kids see every morning, that the kids and when my hey Gina, when my dad was off, he did hang out with us, but the off was not that much. He was working.
Right.
But I felt like even my dad took us to work with him a lot of times, because he put carpet in brand new houses, and he was so particular at how the carpet was in the house and the vacuuming. I spend more time with my dad vacuuming and putting that carpet in and vacuuming. He was, to me, he was nurturing me to show him. He was showing me
Just do.
how,
Hmm.
just because he had his own business, he was
Hmm.
nurturing me, as in he was spending time with me, but he was at work and he was nurturing me,
Hmm.
saying, "This is my job. This is what I gotta do for my family." And I
Hmm.
will always give that to my dad, taking care of his
Hmm.
family and nurturing and just hanging out with him. Because let me tell you something: if I vacuum that carpet the wrong way, he gonna be like, "Do it again."
Right.
So
Right.
I'm just saying, yes, he wasn't physically in the
And we would
home.
have made that same decision even if, things could have went the other way. Things could have went I could have went active duty military. And
Shoot.
Fred could have been the person staying at home with our kids and doing that, because then I would have been the breadwinner. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at the same time, we didn't do that because Fred didn't want to be a military husband,
Mm.
you know.
Ooh, was that a hard choice?
Um it was yes and no. It was hard because, like, you want to do what you care about and what you're great at, and all those things. But luckily for me, the job that I had was something that I could do outside of the military. So I was kind of like confident in the fact that, like I would be all right as far as being fulfilled career wise.
What
But
could I ask a question?
I didn't go ahead.
He didn't want to do all that moving? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Because his family was in the Bay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. He didn't want to be, uprooted and traveling everywhere, and two, Fred is a guy's guy.
Hmm.
And not to say he wouldn't have stayed home with the kids and all of that, cuz he would have, but he just ain't the kind of guy to sit around and be dependent on me. You know what I mean? Like, in some ways I feel like it would make him a little uncomfortable. He would be like itching to like do something, you
Okay.
know. And so,
Well,
I just
some men, don't don't want to do the rearing
but
of the
that's why
child.
there's no one way to do this life.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Like, society would have you to believe, especially in the United States, that there's only one way to do this life,
Hmm.
right?
It's
And that is that, your money should be your priority, and having a
Yeah.
lot of it, and that you ain't shit if you don't have a lot of it. And that's just so sad to me.
Well, I mean, I think when I was coming up, we had a village. I had my cousins, I had my aunts and stuff. Even though, my mom had her sister, so we always had my aunts and I had my parents too. But I
Mm,
I do I do look at the way my children are raised and the way I was raised. That sense of the church gave us a village. Women,
yes.
they gave us a village, and I think that is what, into just me, some of the black community is missing of that village that we had. Because we went to church, we had friends, we had women that we spend the night at their house. My mom, they would spend the night, their kids would come over our house. And to this side, we don't have that now. We don't. It's like everybody's on their own island to me sometimes.
Hmm.
when when,
It
when I
is.
was when I was growing up, we had a village.
Hmm.
So, you know, but
Well,
it's
that's
been
our
real.
say. That's our say on that about Ray and Dre
Okay,
and Cardi
Cardi,
or whatever. And what you think about
I just got something run across my thing.
what,
It said breaking news that Al Roker passed away.
who
Al Roker from uh
from the Today Show?
yes. Something run across my thing. It said breaking news that he
Oh,
passed away. I'm trying to figure out what happened because he's
he
married
was
to
sick.
Deborah Roberts from ABC.
He was sick.
He was sick. Oh, I,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he was. He had been sick for some time. I want to say he was battling some type of cancer or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh man, that's just messed
what
up.
dang?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. Let me see if I can see it.
Okay.
Al Roker. I don't see nothing
I will have to go
about
back and.
that yet. About that yet. Wait.
But I didn't know he was sick. But I will be checking it because.
Yeah, because he was. No, maybe because it just said a month ago he was in the hospital.
But I will have to check it because
He
it
was
went
having
across
shoulder surgery.
my phone. That's why I was like, I couldn't really see it. I will check it. I will check it. And if it is,
Yeah.
it's messed up.
Yeah, it is. Man, I grew up with Al.
Me
My
too.
grand, like I ain't even gonna lie, like I feel like I grew up with Al Roker. You know what I mean? Like, and all the changes on the Today Show, Al Roker was the one
Was
thing that always stayed the same.
consistent.
Was
And
Al? Yes,
remember
they
him.
never changed the weatherman.
Remember he was in that yellow rain suit. I was like, Al, what you got on?
Yes, yes,
Oh God, that was crazy.
yes.
Okay, well, Erica, I guess we're gonna holler later, babe.
Oh, you ready
And
to leave me?
I got to cook, got to get kids ready for school
You cook?
tomorrow.
What you cooking?
I'm gonna go in there and see what's in the freezer. Okay, I'm gonna get you with that one.
You said it. I didn't. She said I gotta go. I gotta go up in here and cook. I'm like, what you cooking?
I'll get you with that
Shanita
one.
was cooking yesterday. What you cooking today?
I don't know yet, but I'm gonna find something.
Trying to put something in the oven. Dinner in 15 minutes.
I'll be that bad. Some days I'll be like, cooking
No, because I
and
was gonna ask you. Remember I asked you. I told you that K Michelle had show was like,
Tam-
sad for Tamar about the little show. You said you was gonna watch it, and I don't think you still never watched the first episode.
I told you I cannot watch a train wreck. I mean, I love Tamar. You know, I
You
love her.
like train wrecks.
No, I don't. Mm-mm. Not.
Yes, you do.
No, let me tell you something. Okay, I do. Okay, okay. I do like train wrecks. I do. But when I feel like that's my girl and it's a train wreck, I ain't gonna watch it. I ain't gonna lie, cause you know, we love some Tamar. Okay,
Yeah,
she got big personality, and I just hate what's going on with her now, and
yeah.
I just cannot. When I care about somebody like that and I watch they show faithfully, I don't watch the family reaction because of Tony, the mama,
You
the
right.
sisters. I
You
watch it
right.
because of
Watch to see
Tamar.
Tamar. Yeah.
Tamar. So I'm like, that's my girl. And when I feel like what her reality show, this one right here is a train wreck. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna
Now,
tell you
now,
how I feel about just real quick about. I mean, I'm saying real quick.
mhm,
I promise. I
okay.
know I
Well,
usually don't do nothing real quick, but real quick, I
but
feel
I'm
like
saying,
the reason why she's so the Tamar that we know on TV so much.
mhm,
It's just like Robin Williams and other comedians and stuff like that who are masking pain behind all the laughter and euphemisms and funny stuff and everything, right?
mhm,
Whatever is going on with Tamar or has been going on with Tamar, I hope that she takes this opportunity to address it and really get square with herself,
mhm. But
right?
yes, I do too. And
Because I feel like she been in a lot of pain
uh-huh,
for a long time. I don't know what it's about or what it stems from, but I feel like all the things that we love about her that she does on TV, right,
uh-huh.
may have been just masking other things that were going on under the surface,
Yes, but
you know?
yes, I definitely agree with that. But at the same time, is I mean, I'm keeping it 100. I had suffered from depression, and maybe she never had maybe she didn't have the chance to. I don't know. When the cameras are rolling, you got to be on. Did she have a chance to go eh, stay in bed? I probably say you got to go film today, Tamar. I'm just saying,
To just be
be
depressed.
just to be
Like the
depressed.
thing is, when be suffering from depression and being depressed is two different things.
Yes.
Depression is a disease.
Hmm.
Being Everybody gets depressed.
Yes.
Everybody has sad moments.
Hmm.
Everybody has times when they're down
Hmm.
or when they feel stressed or things like that. So everybody gets depressed, but everybody doesn't stay in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
It does For everybody, it doesn't start to affect their chemical, the way things are firing chemically in their bodies,
Hmm.
right? So it's like I feel like with Tamar, it's like, and usually it starts out as just that you're depressed, and then it turns into depression,
Hmm.
right? Because you can't get out. It's like you drop down the rabbit hole. And I think somewhere along the way, she went down the rabbit hole.
Yes, but I have to say,
And it was after they
I,
started this show. I don't think she was in that space
I,
before there was
I
ever
personally,
a
I,
Braxton Family Values.
I personally feel like I'm just being honest. Somebody called me. I personally feel like she been with Vince what since she was like 19, 20 years old. Vince, I don't think that Vince took care of everything, and I mean
Mhm.
not took care. I mean Vince took care of everything,
Mhm.
money, finances, and I think right now she is struggling with that because I don't think I'm not saying
Excuse me.
Vince did it on a purpose level, but I'm saying is
Right.
she's struggling with that financing, how to budget, how to take care of her and Logan without Vince.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying, I as myself. When I was married, I didn't learn how to budget. I'm barely just know how to do that stuff now, and I'm gonna be 46. So I'm just saying, I still feel like Vince took care of so much
Mhm.
that she's right now is learning how to take care of herself, and
Right.
it might be a
And
little
I just hope that she patient with her. Like take the time
it might
to
be a little
just
overwhelming for her.
right overwhelming to the point where she hasn't dealt with it.
Yes.
It's the part where you don't just deal with it. At
Hmm.
some point, you're gonna have to deal with the shit. And if you don't deal with it, it's just gonna keep piling up. You're just gonna keep going farther and farther and deeper down the rabbit hole. At
Yeah,
some points, you gotta grab hold to the sides and say, I'm tired of falling. I need to start getting up. And in that process, you're not gonna see the light of day right away.
but at the
You
same,
know,
but at the same time,
you got to be patient with yourself and just take time. And the sad part about it is that yes, because of the way your life is set up,
hmm,
everything that you do, you're gonna have to do in the public eye.
hmm,
You know what I'm saying? But it also could be what propels you to your higher purpose
but I
as
don't think.
well. I
I,
hope she looking at it as that.
but I hope that she doesn't that she doesn't look at. I mean, I want to come back. I want to see the Tamar. I want to
I
see the
do
winner.
too.
I want to see. I don't want to see no David, but I want to see the comeback Tamar
I
and
want to see
Logan.
Tamar come back and be
And,
cool and
and,
secure and confident as a woman and not have to rely on all the antics and the keys and all of that, but just be herself. And then put out a bomb ass album that was even more bomb than the
yes,
album that she put out before.
yes, and I love that album. It's like, man, that
I
album
don't care
was.
what nobody
But I
say.
said that album
Tamar
was
Braxton can sing
sang. She
her
could
ass
sing.
off.
She
The
could
other
sing.
sisters can sing and they
Yes.
cool.
Hmm.
Even Tony. Tony
Yes.
Braxton can sing, but
Hmm.
she have a real bass voice.
Hmm.
Tamar Braxton can sing. You understand me? She could go low like Tony. She could go high like the rest of Tamar can sing.
Yes, and that album that she put out, I mean, I played that to death.
We
That was
played that to
to
death.
death. We played that to death. That was our. That was our.
We want some hot sugar.
That was
Sweet
our.
little coming
That was
on
our.
time.
That was our.
We can
That was
do
our
it now
anthem.
or later, that's fine. I
Now,
want
the
that sugar.
K
He want
Michelle.
that sugar. That was the shit.
The K Michelle.
That was the shit.
Yes, it was. K Michelle having sympathy for her. I mean, I appreciate that she wasn't trying to be rude or anything because she has been an arch enemy of
I
Tamar's.
appreciate that.
I appreciate
And
that.
she didn't kick her while she was down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I appreciate that because sometimes she can be a little nasty when she want to be. I'm just being honest,
Cause
and
I
so
think she felt like it was authentic. Like I think she
no,
like
can
I
you
will
think?
say like what you're saying is that you don't want to see the train wreck on TV, right?
Yes.
But I don't think it's a train wreck as far as like how you see a train wreck and you like it's being played up for the cameras and yada
Hmm.
yada yada.
Uh
It's
huh.
like it's when you watch it, it's sad because you know she not playing in a way. It's like when you're watching it, it's like it seemed like like this is really real.
Well,
Like
I
she's
might.
like I didn't really even mean for this to be on camera, but it is.
Or I
Cuz
might
to
take a sec.
me, go ahead.
I might take a sec. I might take a look at it tonight and see it. But if I feel like it's too train wreck and it bothers my spirit, I won't be watching it. I'm just keeping
She
it
said it
100.
bothers my spirit.
It bothers my spirit and it makes me feel the cringe. I feel like Tamar. I'm not Tamar, but K Michelle on that first season with Love and Hip Hop when she was telling everybody mental which calm was bothering her and putting hands on her and nobody was believing her. I feel like that's how she
That she
felt. Like,
thinks that that's what Tamar
Tamar,
going
yeah,
through.
yep.
Yes.
That's I called it right then because
Hmm.
that first season, when, everybody was saying ain't nothing happened to you. You just being you just making up a storyline, and she was like, no, this really happened to me. So I feel like that's why she came out and said, look, I got love for her. I hope she be
Yeah,
better. You
I
know.
do. I want to see Tamar make a comeback. I
Me
do.
too. I want her to see.
More than I wanted to see Tony make a comeback. I want to
And
see
matter of
Tamar
fact,
make a
is
comeback.
call Vince back and ask him to help you get some producers.
Manage me.
Manage
Manage
me.
me.
Manage me.
You
Eh,
know, I don't want to have a relationship with you, but
but manage
just
me.
manage me. Yeah.
Manage me. Vince is a great producer.
He's a, yeah.
So
Yeah.
just let him manage
I
you.
wonder too how much the death of the one dude affected her because he worked with her on all her music.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sad.
It's like how you go back in the studio, like how you go back in the studio like without him. Like even when she was telling Mona, she was like, I never sang it for nobody. I'm like, you was with Sean all the time. But
well,
I don't
maybe
think she saw him as that person. He was like a brother, like a friend. You know what I mean? I don't think she saw him at like, you know, like as a producer, or like she didn't think, oh, I'm singing in front of somebody. Cause it's Sean.
okay. Well, get Vince to get some of them producers who help you. Well, Sean mostly wrote
He
that
did.
album.
Mm-hmm. The two of
Well,
them together.
okay. Well, you're gonna need a new writing partner. And honey, you got some pain. You got some song.
Yeah.
You got some songs that you got some
Right.
pain. You got some pain. You got some pain, and you got some songs
I'm
that you
like,
can
what's the
write.
choice? You haven't trusted people before,
Hmm.
and now you want people to trust, and now you're asking for people's trust again. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that can it's already happening. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like it's like you're gonna be strong enough to hold up, even if someone betrays your trust. It's
mm.
okay. You got it. Like I just hope she know that she got this.
I
You know,
mean,
and I feel bad. I feel bad about you know, I feel like she thought that there was some expectation she was supposed to live up to.
well,
You know,
nobody wanted her to live up to Tony. Tony's
no,
okay.
not about Tony, but about, you know, once when they had the Tamar event show and she had that big old house and the cars, and you know she was always going on vacations and taking her friends with her on vacations and doing all that. I think it's like you wait to see who's going to be around when all
Well,
of that is no longer there.
to me, it tells you who your real friends are. Then, because if I lost everything, Erica's still gonna be my friend.
I don't know. I have to think about. No, I'm just playing.
I'm having fun with you. I'm having fun with you.
Yes, yes.
To me, you got to see me at my lowest point. You got to see me without no money. You got to see my car get repossessed. So,
Yeah.
I mean, are we friends on materialism, or are we friends over what? Because you know, we want to work one day and my car must be possessed. We ain't got to ride. We got to call your husband.
we You look back on that shit, you be like, nigga, that shit was funny.
I went to work and my
Oh
car was
God.
gone repossessed. So,
That
but
shit was funny. It's like it wasn't funny when it happened.
so I was
But
crying.
no, didn't it got repossessed from my
Right, yeah,
house.
so did got
From by
repossessed
my house.
from
I
your house.
drove us to work that
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
And Fred was like, did y'all drive Andrea car? Did
He was
Andrea drive to work? I'm like, no,
like,
she came over so I could drive. Fred was like, that truck gone.
no. That was my first repossessing, and I ain't never had one again.
Oh God.
Okay.
You slept so long in my house. I was like, don't worry, Dre. I'll go get the kids from school. Don't worry. You were so sad. I was like, it's okay, Fred. Oh God.
That was,
Oh God.
but it
And then Ronnie came with that brown
fast
van.
spread. You know he wanted to rub it in. He wanted to rub it in with that brown bread. I hated that brown bread. I hated that brown bread. I hated that brown bread. I so did. I hated that brown bread.
Oh God. It looked like a Tonka van,
Okay,
like a Tonka truck.
piece of junk, piece of junk. Okay, but I was thankful we had a car.
But you saying,
I was saying this that bullshit with this one.
oh God, he was like, I'm just thankful I'm going from point A to point
But
B.
me,
Okay. Oh God, that was hilarious. It's like I said, it's be funny now because
yes,
we've lived through it, we
yes,
survived it, and
yes.
we can't, and we better. But it's like when it
When
happened,
that,
it was like that shit was so
I
depressing.
was like, oh my god, my car got repossessed.
At first, we was like, I was like, somebody stole your car.
I was like,
And then you was like, wait a minute, I didn't pay the car note.
what?
I was like, bitch, what? I'm over here ready to call the police. You
And,
like, I didn't pay the car note. That was funny.
yes, You know what?
Oh, all right.
But that taught me a lesson. I ain't never. That was the only repossessed I ever had.
Yes.
I ain't never had another one. Shoot,
Yes.
so that was
It taught you they ain't playing around.
shoot. That was the only repossessed I ever had. I was how old was I when I got that first? That was my first repossessed. How old was I?
Oh, I don't even know if we
Mm,
was we 30 yet? Maybe 30, 31. I
early
don't know.
31.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
at first you had the blue
blue truck.
Suburban for a while.
Yeah. And I thought I was bad enough to say, I can pay my own car, though. I'm grown now. Pay
Mm-hmm.
your piece of shit back.
Yeah.
That was a dumb move. Why you let me make that move? Why you
I
let me
was
move
like, keep the blue truck and get a new truck. Shit. Park that motherfucker in the driveway and keep the keys. You don't never know when you're gonna need something.
That was a dumb move. Why did you make that move? Because I was like, I'm grown. I'm free of you. Here your piece of car back.
I was like, I can't convince Drea to do nothing. She's not listening to me at all.
Shoot, because I was like, ooh, I was like, here your kids. I got my own truck, boo.
You was hella happy.
Yes, I was like, ooh, I'm grown now. Erica, I'm grown. See, I got my own car. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
That was hilarious.
Okay, well, we go.
All right, girl. Well, go on and get your frozen nuggets out the freezer and
Bye, girl.
put them
Ain't
in.
nobody making no frozen nuggets tonight. Bye, okay?
Bye, my
Bye.
love.
Bye bye.
Later.